We'll get started here. Cool. And we're gonna get started with our base. So everything in this class is alignment based. You'll hear me talk about ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder, as well as setting our base, which is basically our posture. So you see we have a low back curve here, as well as a curve on our neck. And some of us tend to round here and have a forward head and be at our computer this way. And some of us have excessive curve here. So we're gonna do exercises like pelvic tilt that help us engage our abs and flatten that curve there. We're also gonna do some chin to throat action, which is like someone is gonna hit you with a pie and you retract your head, draw the chin in, and then you'll flatten that same curve to the back of your neck. So let's get on to our mats here. We're gonna focus on our base, just what I was talking about. First, we're gonna start with our breathing. So I'm gonna lay down on our mats here. And we're just gonna notice where we are in contact with the ground, where there is some space. And we're gonna work on our 3-6 breath count, which is a total of 9. So we're gonna inhale for 3, then we're gonna exhale for 6. So right here, let's just practice our breathing. So we're gonna breathe in, 2, 3, and we're gonna exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have a longer exhale. We have to be mindful of that, how long that takes. It'll get easier with practice. And we're gonna connect our breath to our movement. So when we inhale is when we are relaxing. When we exhale is when we are creating the movement. We're also gonna hold the movement for 3 seconds. So that's in for 3, holding for 3, there's your 6. Then you're gonna exhale, so you're gonna inhale and release, and that would be part of the relaxed part. All right, so we'll get that set up. We're gonna do working on our base. So I'd like you to find the ball of your foot. I'm gonna place that on the ground and find your heel bone. I'd like you to line it up with your butt bone. It should be parallel to that. And your feet should be about the size of your foot away from your bottom. Now back to the ball of the foot. Let's find that and press down. And then release. And we're keeping our whole foot in contact with the ground. We're just focusing on the ball. So a couple more times. Place most of the pressure on the ball of the foot. And then release. And one more time, place the ball down. Keep those legs parallel. Notice how the inner thighs start to engage. That's what we want here. So that's us reconnecting to the ground. The ball of the foot helps us to reconnect to the midline of our body. Moving up the spine here. We're gonna work on our pelvic tilt. Like I said before, there's a little gap here, a little rounded here, an arch, and we're gonna work to flatten that. So you can put your hand there. And there's 3 components here to engage our abs. Our ribs, our hips, and our exhale is gonna help us engage the abs. So I'm gonna bring my ribs towards my hips, engage the abs, keep breathing out, and you can bring it in a little bit more as the air escapes you. All right, so one more time, pelvic tilt. Bring those ribs towards the hips, engage those abs, crush your hand, and then release. Okay, so that's our pelvic tilt, great for low back tension. We're gonna move on up the spine though. Gonna focus a little bit more on chin to throat. So there's another curve here. We're gonna work to flatten that. Relax the shoulders down. You can have your hands on your stomach if you like. And I'd like you to put, well, you can put one hand here. This helps a little feedback. So hand on your, or fingers on your chin. We're gonna draw the chin in, 2, 3. Keeping the head on the ground, hold it, and then release, 2, 3. So draw the chin in towards the throat, 2, 3, hold it. Feel that stretch in the back of your neck. And then release, 2, 3. One more time, draw the chin in and hold it. Feel like someone's pulling the top of your head away from your body, creating some space, elongation, and then come back. Okay, those are our 3 components of the base. We're going to take that into all of our other exercises today, something I like to take into everyday life, and it's going to help us to maintain neutral spines. So let's find the ball of the foot, plant that. You're going to keep that on throughout this set, as well as our chin to throat. So draw the chin in to the throat, hold it. If you can't put your hands up here into cactus, that's great. If not, right here is fine as well. So we're going to take a breath in, 2, 3, keeping that chin down, keeping the balls of the feet locked on. And we're going to start some tilts. So we're going to exhale and tilt, 2, 3, and pose here, 2, 3, and release and inhale, 2, 3. Check those cues. We're keeping the chin on, the balls of the feet. Exhale and tilt, 2, 3. Posing here, 2, 3, and release, 2, 3. Really fight to keep the chin down. Bringing the pelvic tilt on is going to make it want to come off, okay? Fight that. And we're exhaling and tilting, 2, 3. Pose here, really bring those ribs down, and release and inhale, 2, 3. And bringing that tilt in, flattening that back, the whole spine. We're trying to flatten against the ground. And release and inhale. One more here. Exhale and tilt, 2, 3. Pose here, keep exhaling. Fix that chin, and then release, 2, 3. Right. Now we're going to do some butterflies here. These are our erasers, just erasing some tension, opening and closing, gently, loosely. Stay within your range that you can maintain that. Okay. Now we're going to focus more on the chin to throat. We're going to try to keep the pelvic tilt on as we do chin to throats, because this is our neck and shoulder class. So same setup, find the ball of the foot, and we're going to draw the pelvic tilt in. We're going to hold that. It's probably going to pop off while we go, but that's okay. We'll just keep reminding ourselves. And from here, you can have one hand on the top of your ribs. Remind yourself to keep it down. And one hand on your chin as a reminder to draw it in. So breathing in, 2, 3. Exhale and draw the chin in, 2, 3. Posing here, 2, 3. And release and inhale, 2, 3. And draw that chin in, 2, 3. Posing here, 2, 3. And release and inhale. Keep that going. Remind yourself that pelvic tilt. And draw it in. Hold it. Feel like someone's pulling the top of your head. Can you go further? And then release, 2, 3. Exhale, bring it in, 2, 3. Where are the balls of your feet at? Are we holding them? Are we holding our tilt? And release. And bring it in, 2, 3. Hold it here, feel that stretch. And release, 2, 3. One more, draw it in, 2, 3. Posing here, 2, 3. And release, 2, 3. All right, relax everything. Right back into some butterflies. All right, and we'll also do some bicycles. So this is another eraser, great for low back tension. If you've been sitting for a while, or if you've been doing some exercises just like we're doing. So you point at the ceiling, let it fall, let your knee fall, bring it back into flex. Just like a bicycle, we're just not going lower than here. Okay. So we're not going all the way down, just to where the other knee is, and bring it back. So try to get a nice loose motion going. And this is where our alignment comes in. So our ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder should all be in a line. A lot of this work, we'll notice some habits of ourselves, some reflexes that have been built. Maybe your knee's flaring in, maybe your foot's flaring out. And that's okay, we're just taking note of those things. You can work on them and progress as we go. The idea is to get both of these together. So we do sinking up. But as a beginner, one leg's perfectly fine. And you don't need to focus too much on those things. So moving on, we are going to do plank. So Matthew is going to show us plank. It's the same idea as what we were just doing, but we're going to face the ground. I'm going to go grab a hair tie real quick. You can see what's going on here. No hair tie, I can find it. All right, pelvic tilt. Keep that in your mind here. We're gonna find it, and we're gonna face the ground. So just take a cheek here. Our arms resting up here. We're trying to be in a straight line from the top of our head to our toes. Knees are squeezed together. And from here, let's just try to reconnect to those abdominals we were just working on, okay? So it's the same thing, there's a little curve here. The only thing is we don't have feedback from the ground now. Now we have feedback from our stomach, not on our back. So I like to think about those bottom ribs coming up. It's very small motion. You can see, if you can touch the bottom of your ribs, try to lift up from there and down. Thinking about a line from your bottom of your ribs to the top of your hip bone. You're trying to shorten that line and bring them together. Lifting the navel up towards the spine. It's not very big. You're gonna feel it more than you're gonna see it. So now we're gonna put on everything else, which is gonna make it a little more difficult. So we're gonna put on our chin to throat in this direction, which is, our nose is floating. We're gonna put 2 fingers underneath our forehead and 2 underneath our chin. And that's how we know we're equal distant. That's how we know our chin to throat is on. So find that there. A lot of the times our shoulders are gonna wanna hike up towards our ears. I like to be conscious of that, draw them away from the ears, and bring those elbows in tight to the body. And from here, we're gonna try to keep that on. That is the challenge, is not favoring our chin or favoring our forehead throughout this set. And it's okay if it starts to do that. We're just becoming aware of those things, and we'll keep working and practicing to break those habits. So nose is floating, shoulders are down and back, elbows are squeezing towards each other, towards the low back. And now we're gonna do some tilts. So we're gonna inhale, 2, 3, and we're gonna exhale and lift up, 2, 3. Pose here, 2, 3, and lower and inhale. Let it all spill out as you do that. Keep everything else in line, the whole upper body is set up, but the tilt itself can spill out. So we're full relaxed mode, and we're gonna exhale and lift up towards the spine. 2, 3. Pose here, 2, 3, and lower and inhale. 2, 3. Keep it going. Lift up those bottom ribs. Hold it. 2, 3, and lower and inhale. Let's reset. Make sure those shoulders are down and back. Where's your chin to throat at? Is it even? And those elbows are squeezing in tight. We're gonna exhale and lift up. Bring that navel towards the spine and hold it. 2, 3, and lower and inhale. And exhale and lift up. Little space under that belly button and lower down. Doesn't have to actually create space, but in your mind's eye, let's lift up. 2, 3. Bring those ribs towards the hips, engage those abs, and lower. 2, 3. Try to keep the glutes out of it, just the abs. Lift up. 2, 3. Pose here, hold it, feel those abs working, and lower and inhale. take a cheek here. Let everything wiggle out a little bit. And then let's get into tabletop. And we're gonna do some cat-cow to erase, not necessarily try to gain flexibility here. We don't have to flick our head back so far. It can be about here. And let's just work that range a little bit. Really rounding the vertebra, just move easily throughout this motion. Finding those sticky spots, focusing a little bit on them. Okay, now we're gonna do one more thing for our neck and shoulders here. It's really easy mobility. With our chin to throat, we're gonna go through a little cycle here. I was talking about our forehead and our nose and our chin. We're gonna do different resting on each of those and moving really slowly while we keep our pelvic tilt on, which is another added challenge, of course, but we're just working towards that goal. So same setup, hands are underneath our shoulders. Bring those elbows in, shoulders down and back. Flip the nose, turn on that pelvic tilt. And from here, just hold it, notice it. And let's go to the chin and rest. Keep those shoulders down and back. Come back to the nose and float. 2, 3. To the forehead. Hold it, feel a good stretch here. Fix that pelvic tilt. And to the nose again. Hold it. 2, 3. To the chin. And back to the nose. Floating here. And then to the forehead. Feel that stretch. Shoulders down and back. And then let's just take a cheek here. Whew. So that's a great way to work on your neck mobility, work on some control, and also work on that pelvic tilt. A lot of endurance there for that one. All right, let's do a little cat-cow again, just to shake it off. I'm gonna do a big shake out here. Do some cat-cows. And then we'll do a little child's pose. So I'd like you to keep your ankles in line with your knees. Reach those hands out, fingertips out, and send the tailbone backwards away from the fingertips. Have a little battle here between the fingertips and the tailbone, drawing away from each other. And let's take some deep breaths in. And really sustain that exhale. That's helping us to relax into the stretch. The longer the exhale. So always keep that in mind. Pretty cool how our breath can be a tool we use to calm ourselves down. Take it a little bit further, reach those fingers out, send that booty back. Try to tuck that tailbone under to add a little stretch. All right, and let's get up. We're gonna do our standing erasers. Whew. So these are wrap and slaps. We are starting low, just slapping our hips, moving up to the elbows. Just trying to be big and loose. Moving up to the shoulders, stay within your range, what feels comfortable, and how loose you can be. The goal is to get to our shoulder blades. And we're switching each arm, really opening up. A lot of us have a lot of chest tension we're not aware of, and this helps to loosen those up. Ideally, we can keep our pelvic tilt on and our chin to throat as we do this, and we're not bobbling around or swinging too much. We have a stable base, and we can move from there. Okay, so that's our rapid slaps. Those are great to do. If you do have some neck tension, you've been at a desk all day, you can take a break and do some of those. It's the easiest thing. And moving on, we're gonna do make a T. So we're gonna stand up. And now we're in standing base. So Find your feet on the ground, find that ball of the foot, place the pressure there. This is our forefoot. This is where we want to be. Have some soft knees. Now we can turn our pelvic tilt on here. Let's find it. Ribs to hips, engage those abs. Chin to throat is on. And this is a precursor to one of our exercises, but I'd like you to raise up your hands as far as you can go without hiking up to your shoulders. So find where that is. If it's here and you start hiking, work below that. Work just below your threshold. If you can come up to here and be parallel to the ground, that's great. That's the T, but otherwise, an inverted Y is just fine as well. We can still do work there. So reaching out here, little bend of the elbow, keeping our base on. We're gonna rotate the elbows towards the ceiling and then rotate them back. So you see my thumbs are up, now my thumbs are down. We're trying to fight this habit, this tendency to hike up as we do that. So really think about the space between your ears and the top of your shoulders. Keep it far away from each other. Let's do a few here. Notice how there's some small muscles working you might not be used to activating. A few times here, nice and slow. All right, bring it down, do some shoulder shrugs. This is another eraser too. Just some shoulder shrugs is fine. Just to shake out some of the yayas here. Okay, so now we are going to need a chair. I'm gonna use this bench chair, preferably a non-rolly chair, something stable. A moment. I'd like to grab some water as well. Water's great. Okay, so a moment to get that chair. No, I didn't do a lot of intro in the beginning. Usually I have a co-host here, Sam, who kind of chimes in and helps me out. But today I'm just kind of running through. So if you like a little bit more detailed class, come back again on Wednesday. And get a little more into these movements and give you a little more rundown, repetitive teaching. Anyway, so let's get into reverse fly. We're gonna work on our shoulder blades here. A lot of us tend to favor the traps up here. A lot of us have tension, it's tight. But there's two other areas. There's the middle trapezius and the lower trapezius. So this exercise is gonna start to engage those. So, and you're just working on our T. We're gonna find that T again. Don't go higher than you just were. Wherever that is great. We're gonna work in that threshold. So now we're seated. We have the balls of our feet, thinking about those. Our legs are parallel to each other. I like your thighs to be parallel to the ground or a little bit below. If you do have a low back problem, you can grab a stool or something or some books and bring your knees up closer to your chest. Sometimes my low back's a little tense, so I'll do that. Today I'm feeling a little bit better, so get set up there. Let's put on that pelvic tilt, our chin to throat. And again, if anything feels like it's aggravating your neck, I'd like you to back off, do some shoulder shrugs, and then do some wrap and slaps and shake it off. And you can always try back again, but we don't want to keep aggravating something if it doesn't feel good. We're just going to keep reinforcing the bad habit. So just stay within your range. Okay, chin to throat, pelvic tilt. I'm going to hinge forward at the hips. I'm not rounding over. So find where that is, wherever's comfortable for you. The goal is to have your chest on your thighs, but wherever's comfortable. Now I'd like you to notice where your eyes are at. Look at your feet. Now walk about a foot ahead. That's where I want your eyes to be. Look at a spot on the ground, find that. From here, we're going to check our base again. Now we're going to find our T. Where is that T? Okay. Keep those shoulders down and back. That's the name of this game. Put the hands down. Now from here, we're going to raise up as if someone was pulling both our elbows towards the ceiling, like a little puppet. And squeeze. 2, 3. And lower, nice and slow. Okay, so We're maintaining the elbow angle. We're just moving with the shoulders. The whole body is not moving, just the shoulders. We're in a fixed position, everything else. Lock it in. The base is locked in. Let's do a little set here. Exhale and lift up. 2, 3. Pose here. 2, 3. And lower and inhale. 2, 3. And exhale, lift up. Squeeze those shoulder blades towards the spine. 2, 3. And down. 2, 3. Keep working within your threshold. Lift up. 2, 3. Those shoulder blades are down and back. 2, 3. Inhale and lower. Check your eyes. Are they in that spot? The foot ahead of your feet. Check your chin to throat. Should feel a little choking sensation in your throat. Lift up. 2, 3. Squeezing here. Holding. Exhaling. And lower. 2, 3. Exhale, lift up. 2, 3. Elbows towards the ceiling. And lower and inhale. Let's do 2 more here. Lift up. 2, 3. Pose here. Pull those shoulder blades together towards the spine. And inhale and lower. Did I say 1 more? Let's do 1 more. Pull up. 2, 3. Hold it. Squeeze those blades together. Feel those muscles working. And lower and inhale. Place your hands on your knees. Press on out. From here we can do, let's do some butterflies. These are seated butterflies. So you could do them lying down. Seated's great too. As well as knee pumps. These are like our bicycles. So if you've been sitting, have a little low back tension, you can do these before you stand up. You can do these in your car, you can do these sitting at your desk. Just try to focus on the base and a soft landing and alignment. Cool. Now let's shake it out. Do a full shake out of racers. Doing these rapid slaps. Really work on hearing that slap and being loose. Deep breathing, because this takes a lot to relax these muscles that like to be tense. And they like to hold on and not be so loosey-goosey. Just work within your range. If you can get back here, it's kind of nice after that exercise to slap those muscles we were just working. Should feel a little warmth here, some soreness. And you should wind down after you do rapid slaps. Wind down, I mean, from the back to the shoulders, to the elbows, and then to the hips. And our last eraser is arm swings. So I like to imagine there's some water on my hand, trying to flick it off. Flick it off. Working the other arm. And this is just a smaller motion. I'm going to work up to being bigger, just like with rapid slaps. So I'm getting higher, swinging back. And eventually, trying to keep that base on, right? Going to be swinging both hands. Just work with what you can right now. Doesn't have to be so big. It doesn't have to be both arms at the same time. Just working on that loose feeling and really swinging back, letting the momentum take you. All right. So let's stick with our chair. And also when you do erasers, I should have warned you, but make sure you have clearance so you don't hit anything because the big wingspan here. Okay, so let's stick with our chair. We're gonna finish with stretching, some neck stretches. So just be gentle with yourself. This is not a delicate area. So all we really need to use is the weight of our hand. And it shouldn't feel like too much strain. So our first stretches we're gonna do are a side neck stretch. So find your hand like this. I call it the live long and prosper hand, or stretch long and prosper. And we have our base, all of our feet, balls of our feet are planted. We have our legs parallel to each other. Our base is on, chin to throat is on. Now place that hand right over our ear here. That's where we're gonna keep our hand and use the weight. So grab with your other hand as an anchor underneath the seat of your chair. And from here, Matthew, could you put on a timer for us?
You got it, Tiffany. For how long?
Let's do 90 seconds. Awesome. Okay, so we're pulling our head up and out, away from our spine. We're not folding over, so don't do this. Think of a beautiful rainbow and you're pulling up and out. And timer is going. Cool. Okay, so really anchor that bottom hand. Remember to be gentle, just eat. We have a long time to let things release. So don't push too hard, too fast, okay? No need to do that here. Check that chin to throat. And just breathe into this. Remember, just using the weight of your hand. Don't need to tug and pull. Let's practice our breathing. So let's take a breath in, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. You can regroup your hands. If this becomes too intense, I would like you to shrug out of this and do some rapid steps. Just work on the breathing, creating space between the ear and the top of the shoulder. Sometimes we'll feel releases. If you do, let's take it a little bit further. Let's see. Okay. So now let's press your head out of against your hand. Let's do some shoulder shrugs. We did 140 there. That was good. We try to aim for 2 minutes. It's a little bit long for some people who usually stretch. So you can work up to that. We go do 60 seconds, get up to 90, into 2 minutes. Let's move on to the other side. So plant anchor our hand here. Find our fingers, find the ear, and Matthew's gonna start our timer. Set our base, chin to throat, feel that little choking sensation there. And here we go. And we're pulling up and out, away, like a big rainbow. No need to fold here. Find the weight of the hand. Let it pull up and out. Inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let all that air out, all the stale air. Replenish. Inhale and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Readjust your hands, get a little better grip, tuck that chin in. We've got 15 more seconds. Keep pushing to the end. And finishing up. Keep it going, opening up, and let's push against our hand with our head. It's a little resistance technique there, and shrug your shoulders out of that. A lot of us want to do this with our neck. It's not the safest way to get out of that stretch. It's a lot safer to just shrug our shoulders. Sometimes if things are open, they can tweak a little bit, so we don't want to do that. All right, moving on. Last stretch here. This is our back of our neck stretch. So I like to do my fingers like this. I'm going to use the top of my fingers to grab the nape of my neck, the bottom of my skull, and then I pull up and out. Same idea as we're just doing. You can also do this way and kind of use the butt of your hand underneath and interlock your fingers, and you can still get the same thing here. So whatever's more comfortable for you. I'll show you from the side, because we're not gonna round completely over. I still want you to keep your pelvic tilt on. We're just gonna round the top half. So find that pelvic tilt, whichever grip you like. Grab the back of your neck, find the bottom of your skull. Try to relax those upper arms and tuck that chin in. And like you did, envision where your ceiling and your wall hit from head to you. That's the direction of where you're pulling up and out. I don't want you to pull down like this. If you were to release your arms, they pull up and out that way. All right, so, Matthew's gonna start our timer. Get your grip, find your base, start to round the top half, create some space underneath your skull, down to your shoulder blades. Remember to pull up and out. Deep breath in and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep deepening, breathing, being gentle. Let things unwind as they will. Remember, if it becomes too intense, just do some shoulder shrugs to exit, some rapid slaps. You can always try again. All right. Matthew, will you let me know when we're at 90 there?
You're at 1 minute now.
All right, thank you. All right, so readjust your fingertips. You might have to regrip. Think about creating space between each vertebra, opening up. Pulling up and out, away.
That's 1 minute and 30 seconds.
All right, let's ease on out of that. Thank you, Matthew. Do some shoulder shrugs here. And then make sure you're clearance between your rapid slaps. Well, let's finish with rapid slaps. And we'll do some arm circles. And that was our express class. That was just me going through it. And usually we have videos that we show. Well, you did get to see some videos, but usually we talk through the videos so you get to hear 2 sets of instructions basically. So let's shake it out, and then we'll do our arm swings as well. Flicking the water off, flicking it off. And at the very least, if you could try to incorporate erasers into your day, it's very simple. I'm not trying to break a sweat here, just trying to bring some blood flow into areas that may get stagnant, typically in our lifestyle. So erasers are great to take a little desk break, and you can also do your butterflies. I'd like you to try some of these exercises within either like tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. If you connect to certain ones that you felt some relief, or maybe you feel a little bit sore, and you can connect those movements to that spot. Those are places to pay attention to. They probably could do another set. And the goal is to do 2 sets of 20. That's how you know you've mastered something. And if you are new to dynamic balance, working on the pelvic tilt and the base is the most beneficial you could do as an entry. And I mean, I still do it day to day. It's my go-to is setting the base. It's the way I start with all my exercise routines. I've been using this stuff for my low back for a long time, for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's the most relief that I've found in my back. And we have created this class just for people to come in and learn these simple tools that they can then take and do themselves. Or if they have a hard time doing it on their own, that's why the space is here, because we all can do it together and it's a little bit easier. And then you get it done. And just like we did, that was an express class. I don't know, what are we at, 6:30 or something? 6:47, woo.
That was way fast. That was longer. Anyways, so check us out online. We have all these videos if you want to have a second look. We also have memberships. We do private consultations. We do low back hip class Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And Mark, my boss, and I was gonna call him my apprentice, but he's more my teacher. He has other classes as well. You can see him doing some other things in here. We're switching off, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the class. And if you have any comments or feedback, please let us know. But thank you for spending some time and on yourself and also trying something new. It's a great little accomplishment, especially in times like this. So great job today. All right, take care. Have a nice one.